Yes, good morning. I really appreciated the words that Shayla shared with you. And I can tell you, as a teacher of several years now in my career, what she shared with you is pure gold. So when she said to you, that was important, you should write that down. If you haven't written it down yet, write it down. And share this. You started by sharing who you are. And you asked the question, or you made the comment about it's important to know who our people are. So my mother is of Gitsan and Scottish descent. My father's English and Irish. So I have a mixed heritage. And when we think about this important display that you have the privilege to be the first people to bear witness to it, I want you to think of a couple of things as you take the time to go and visit this exhibit. And that is, who are your people, like Salish asked. And I would like you to put yourself in the place of where you're going to find many of your students, and maybe even this is part of your own personal journey. So as a teacher, you always want to be mindful of who you're speaking to. So if you were to ask, who are your brothers and your sisters? Maybe you know those. If you're going to ask, who are your cousins? Who are your aunties and your uncles? Who are your parents? Who are your grandparents? For many of you, this will bring about memories, positive things that you've done with those people that you know, that you've spent time with. But for many people, this is not their reality. And I can tell you too, because this has affected my own family. We just recently discovered that I have a cousin from back east. And it's been a very difficult journey within my own family. Some people want to embrace her. Other people are full of fear. But when my mother went in and met with her, and she's out in Ontario, and she was very scared too. My mother is her auntie. My cousin shared with me that she always knew, even though her family's a very loving family, that there was something missing for her. And just listening to my mother share what my cousin had said to her, I felt a great sadness because I remember all the good times growing up with my cousins. And I cherish those memories, and I feel a great sense of loss for her, that she didn't get to spend that time with us, right, to have those memories. And Shaylis also mentioned the power and importance that you have in your role as a teacher. And you're going to be busy. You know this already going through the PDP. You were probably told, don't work, talk to your family, make sure they know how busy you're going to be. And although we'll get better, so don't panic. Don't leave the profession, please. We need you. You're going to find that because you're so busy, you might not get those connections with all your students, but they all bring their stories. And a lot of them may not share with you what their story is, but you will have students in there that are affected by the 60s scoop. Right? Children that don't know where they're from, who their people are. So this is why I think it's so important that we get to learn about these things, right? And that we bring this opportunity for you to have a look into it as well. So as BCTF, we have many national partners working towards Truth and Reconciliation 94 calls to action. How many people have learned about that in their PDP? I'm just curious. Lots. Okay, this is good. This is a big change. And also we work with the United Nations and the Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, something that BC was adopting here in October. So, and one of the other partners that we work with is called the Legacy of Hope Foundation. And so I'd encourage you to go look and see the great work that they do. But you're going to have the sample that you can see today. So it's the first of its kind. And the Legacy of Hope's new exhibit explores experiences of survivors of the 60s scoop, which began in the 60s and continued until the late 1980s. And if you go and you learn about this on your own, you might come to the same conclusion that many others have, and that it continues today. And so many will call it the millennial scoop. And it's where Indigenous children were taken from their families, often forcibly, fostered and or adopted out to non-Indigenous homes, often far away from their communities, and some across the world. So this exhibit was developed in partnership with the National Indigenous Survivors of Child Welfare Network. And the innovative and challenging exhibit features first person's testimonies of 12 Indigenous survivors of the scoop and reflects upon their enduring strength and resilience. So I encourage you to take the time at some point, any of your breaks, to have a look at that exhibit. The BCTF also offers workshops, as you may know. There is a workshop that we developed. I sit on the Aboriginal Education Advisory Committee, which is a provincial body. You were encouraged that as you get your legs under you and you enter your career here, that you get involved. And there's lots of different committees where you can do that work. So the 60 Scoop workshop, you can book it for free and you can share that with your school staff. The exhibit also will move from here and will be featured at the BC Teachers Federation Annual General Meeting, which is coming up in March. It'll also be displayed at our summer conference and our Facilitators Institute, which happens in August, and will be shared again at the Aboriginal Education Advisory Provincial Specialists Association Conference, which will be coming up in October. So if you find this meaningful, you can share that with your friends and your colleagues, and there'll be other opportunities for them to come and learn as well. So I thank you. I hope you enjoy your conference. Haishka, all my relations.